spend your time the way you want. It ain't a crime to waste a little time. Time is the one thing you can control. We are told that time is wasting, speeding up and racing. What if I told you that ain't true? It is in your mind and it's all relative. Seconds, minutes, hours, are you gonna leave them all up to the powers? Those that be telling you very little of it true, that there is little left in them. Seconds, minutes, hours, are you gonna leave them all up to the powers? Those that be telling you very little of it true, that there is little left in them. Seconds, minutes, hours, are you gonna leave them all up to the powers? Those that be telling you very little of it true, that there is little left in them. Seconds, minutes, hours. What we do with our hours is within our own power. We can make them stretch or we can run them by. It is all in how you use the seconds, those grains of sand we have. Through the hourglass they fall, ticking one by one. Yet if we don't think and have fun, they seem to slide through, feeling like we use them right. It feels like turning on a light. Seconds, minutes, hours, are you gonna leave them all up to the powers? Those that be telling you very little of it true, that there is little left in them. Seconds, minutes, hours, are you gonna leave them all up to the powers? Those that be telling you very little of it true, that there is little left in them. Days working, tick, 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 rapidly burning up our wick. That is the way it feels, I won't lie, but that is how we pay. Running time through our fingers, we can make it linger, linger. Days off, play hard, gather your friends around a table, play some cards against humanity. We will stand, don't waste the time, oh man. Hours, are you gonna leave them all up to the powers? Those that be telling you very little of it true, that there is little left in them. Seconds, minutes, hours, are you gonna leave them all up to the powers? Those that be telling you very little of it true, that there is little left in them. Seconds, minutes, hours, are you gonna leave them all up to the powers? Those that be telling you very little of it true, that there is little left in them. Seconds, minutes, hours, the clock is ticking. What do you plan to do with your time? With your time.
Hey, hey, you and hey, how you doing? I'm still here, I ain't going nowhere. You have to deal with me, why can't you see? You dropped it all on me. I warned it would happen. Blamed it all on me, like you did nothing. The rocks you toss make you feel like the boss. Did it ever occur?
Hello everyone. How are we doing tonight? I hope we all are doing well. I hope that you're having a good week, even though it's been a relatively sad one. You know, first we had Dolly Parton pass, and now Tim Curry, both at age 80. So, they lived good lives. They did a lot with those lives. You know, I mean, I don't know, I think we can all learn a little something from that. I mean, there's so much that we don't realize that people are doing in the background. You know, like, I think I was saying it last night that Dolly Parton was, you know, a songwriter. She was a singer-songwriter, but she was also a very prolific songwriter. You know, and a lot of people don't realize that. Same thing with Prince. Same thing with Michael Jackson. You know, I mean, these performers don't just stop. They keep doing things. And frankly, it's amazing. It's amazing how much they can do even when they're retired or semi-retired. And, you know, I mean, those people were 30 years older than me. A little over 30 years older than me. You know, that's what we have to realize is how much time we actually do have. You know, people sit there and tell you, oh, life's short, life's short. No, it's not. You got all the time in the world. You don't have to rush everywhere and do everything. Trust me. I mean, it's like, you know, in the next year, I'm going to start being an electrician's apprentice. You know, I won't be out of that until I'm like 52. You know, being an apprentice. And I plan on working another 15 years minimum after that. You know, in that position. You know, and still trying to keep whatever I can of this going too. You know, I don't want to stop doing this. I just know it's always going to be a hobby. You know, I'm always going to be putting more money into it than I get out of it. You know, that's just going to be the way it is. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. You know, and there might be chunks where I take a break. You know, I might just take, you know, a month off. You know, after, or maybe even 2 months. After October, if... Hey, what's up, Jade? After October, I might actually just take, you know, November and December off and just work on other things. How you doing today? Hello, XO. Hello, hello. I don't know, I think we don't realize how much we do. How much we try to run headlong into so many different things at once. We push ourselves in ways that, you know, where people might want us to be, where we should be. Tired, a lot of socializing. Yeah, I kind of figured you would be having a busy day of it. Again, hope everything was going well. Hope it's going the way you want it to. It's nice. Okay. I know how sometimes those things can go off the rails like they shouldn't. But, you know, I don't think people realize how much time we have. You know, at 50, you can change your whole industry, everything that you're doing. and start something new, and you still have 15 years to do it. And then some, when you want to retire. You can still do a whole lot. It's never too late to start something new. It's never too late to branch out and see what else you can do. It's always hard to get rid of the momentum of what you've already started. That's the hardest part for most people. It's not the new thing. It's I'm giving up on the old thing. When you're really not. You did it. You did it to your satisfaction. It's like with creation. If I take it seriously and start treating it like a job, and because I've researched some things into how could I do more or better, and I realized that I would be pouring so much into something that I don't even know if I want to take it to that level. Like, I like what I do, but I'm not going to sit here and cut up my streams into, short clips so that people can go watch them someplace else and then possibly, hopefully bring them back. It's just like, my job is, as I see it, is to bring people to the platform, or to give people on the platform something to watch. That's my job. YouTube, Twitch, their job. See, and that's the thing that I don't understand. Their job is to show people what they want to see. Not what you want them to see, but what the people want to see. And they're terribly bad at it. That's why it keeps congregating into, these smaller pools over here, because nobody knows any better. It's not that these people are so good. It's that that's where they're getting pushed. These holes they're getting pushed in. I guarantee you that Mr. Beast, I don't know how he could maintain the numbers he maintains without help from the platforms. Because it's easier for the platform and the algorithm just to go, oh, here. And it's not even necessarily that people want to watch it, but that's why Mr. Beast stuff has been edited to be so addicting. He was TikTok before there was TikTok. It was all about engineering your audience to stay. And I'm terrible at it. I schedule, 5-minute breaks at the top of the hour. You know exactly when I'm going to be taking a break, or pretty damn close. That's your chance to go. You also know that generally I'm going to try and recap, the first hour when I come back, or, if somebody asks for a recap, I do a pretty good job of it. So you can even join late and you don't really even have to stay. It's just stuff like that. It's like, it's realizing that I'm not engineering this with any kind of fear of missing out. If you miss out, the streams are posted in 2 different places if you want to watch them. For, I think, like the first month or whatever, they're held on Twitch. And then for however long they get held on YouTube, which is a long time. And, I don't go into a huge effort of editing the videos into more bite-sized chunks because, well, frankly, it's kind of ridiculous. We're so lazy anymore, and that's everyone. Well, it's like what on stream earlier today. I had somebody honking at the back door, not knocking on it. Like, they didn't even get out of their car. They were just honking for somebody to come out. I go out there, You know, it's like, what the hell is going on? You know, because I actually thought it was like my neighbor, right? Well, I actually thought it was like my neighbor. You know, something was going on there. So I, you know, want to check and see what's going on. It's just what I do. I go out there and it's somebody sitting in my driveway. And I open up the gate, look at him like, what the hell's going on? Walk over. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to pick up such and such. You got the wrong place, buddy. Looks at the house numbers that he's been staring at for the last, I mean, and he was honking for like, I don't know how long, honestly. And he looks at the house numbers, which are literally right at his driver's side. They're to the left and up. Like, all he had to do was look up a little bit. And he could see the house numbers. And didn't even think to look. He's just like, oh, I'm looking for this place. I look over at the numbers and I'm like, you obviously have the wrong one. Oh, yeah. Pulls out and drives off. And I'm just like, in this day and age, why are you honking for one? Everybody's got a cell phone. Just text them you're here or call them, hey, I'm here. You know, I mean, isn't that like one of the good uses for that? Or get off your happy ass, walk up to the door and knock. I mean, it's something. But I've always found people that are too damn lazy to get out of the car. They have to sit there and honk, honk, honk. And it's like, really? Really? You got to sit there and honk at somebody? You know, but, you know, I was just watching a video earlier about Wi-Fi, not Wi-Fi, it was cloud app run cat feeder. And how their app went down and literally it wasn't feeding the cats, even though they told people that it should be able to run on the machine itself, on the auto cat feeder, but it wasn't. And this was generally used for people that animals are, or that they're away and they're trying to feed their animals. Like, I hope to God no animals starved during this, but it feels so dumb that people are that lazy that they have to have a smart cat feeder. Or, I mean, okay, certain auto scoop litter boxes, I kind of understand, but some of them are just ridiculous in how complex they are. I mean, one of the best ones I ever saw was a real simple system that just had this big, like, scoop thing that just brushed it all into a tray at the end that closed. And then it went back and combed the, you know, leveled off the kitty sand. And it worked beautifully for years. My buddy used that for years. You know, all you have to do is just make sure, you know, every day check that hopper. And if it's full, bag it up because it comes with a bag. Bag it, trash it, put a new one in. Simple as that. You know, I mean, it's so weird to me how much, like, we will let an app engineer our choices for food. Download the McDonald's app or this app or that app. And it's not just that you get deals. It literally engineers you towards certain types of food by saying, oh, if you like this, you'll like this. No, it's engineering you to get things that are better profit margin for them. You know, and it's not a real deal. You just think it is because it's cheaper than you normally pay. But the reality is, if they can charge you that price, then they could charge you that price always. But even worse is they guide you to food. And you don't know what your buddy deal is. You know, everybody gets tailored deals. But I almost guarantee you that if you sit there and compare, it's always the same ones. It's probably on this rotation in some kind of weird intersecting pattern that it's not immediately noticeable. But you'll probably, if you pay attention, and map it out, of course, most of us don't have the patience for that. We'll take, you map it out and you realize that at certain times or certain ways, they're always suggesting under these certain circumstances, this same food. Like, oh, it's this certain temperature outside. They're gonna want this. Or, oh, this time of the year is coming on. Let's suggest this. But you think it's a deal, when in reality, it's something they could have done all the time. But they're engineering you to eat certain ways or to buy things in certain ways. That's the whole point of advertising, is engineering. It's engineering you to stay within a certain guardrail of what they want you to do. And I don't think we understand how engineered we are right now. With all these, and sure, your average person doesn't really have like the smart thermostat and stuff like that. But if you rent a place, like major apartment complexes, at least in Washington, we're starting to put smart thermoses in your house. They were starting to put smart filters in your house, smart things in your house. What people don't realize is that you don't have 100% control of that. There's certain places where the landlord gets to control what temp it is in your place. Or those smart thermostats can be forced to be at certain temperatures. I know in California, the utility, yeah, we talk about flock, but nobody understands that we've already allowed this to happen with like the Nest stuff, with all this internet connected stuff. Oh, the convenience, I get to tell, whatever to turn on the lights. Yeah, but this also gives outside control, because you say it, you're not saying it to your light. You're saying it to your phone or to the microphone that's connected over here. That goes up to the cloud, comes back down to your light. It's not just on your app. It's all the way out there somewhere, which means somebody can intercept that and control it. So, that's why I'm so down on downloading an app for food. That's why I'm so down on getting smart stuff. You don't have control of it then. If you don't have it in your hands, you don't have control over it. Like my lamp here that I use to light my face right here. This is the remote for it. There's also an app that I could get and download for the lamp. I don't know why I would do that. I have a nice remote right here. I also have a foot pedal on it right here that I can just turn it off. It's actually really convenient to have a foot pedal on your lamp. I'll tell you that right now. I thought it would be like one of the most useless things. But, and don't get me wrong, I'm not down on technology. I like technology. What I hate is when corporations start controlling the technology. When corporations start ruining it. When these guys get too greedy and they start inserting themselves and controlling what you bought. Like Sony with, we're not going to produce physical discs. Screw you. It doesn't even have to be a physical disc. Sure, that's one of the cheapest ways to do it, but how many old USB flash drives are there out there? You're telling me that you can't put some kind of lock on the USB flash drive to put a game on it? That you can plug it and go? You know, that's attached to your identity, your, you know, gamer tag or whatever you want to say. So if you loan it to somebody, you can't access on your console or your Steam or whatever because it's here. You know, and if you loaned it to your buddy, you don't get to play that particular game. As soon as you get it back, you can re-put it into your library. It's an easy digital switchable. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, you wouldn't even have to have the physical game on the device. It would be best because not everybody has internet. You know, and you could pull all of your games off the net and keep them in a usable state where, I don't know, updates aren't going to break them. You know, I mean, I know this kind of goes over a few people's heads, but it really wouldn't be that hard. And for security, I mean, you can keep a ticker on it that has to match whatever you plug it into, like you plug it into, go through Steam, and that ticker has to match whatever Steam's saying at that time. But because that handshake was started in the device, it'll know exactly, you know, you can keep it rolling, just like two-factor authentication. You know, whatever. And it bothers me that we sit here and we act like we don't have a choice. We act like we just don't have a choice. We have to let it happen. When we really do. We have a choice. You know, you don't like what Sony's doing? Stop buying. You don't like what a company's doing? And I know I've advocated this before. But really, I think people either don't understand the power that they have, or they don't realize the damage it's doing to them by allowing these things that never needed to be smart, be smart. Your video game console is designed to do one thing and one thing only: play video games. That's it. So why is it also your movie player, your home entertainment center, to be honest? I mean, it's got every app, you know, streaming app on it. Why? You got a computer, you can literally take an HDMI cord. Most computers in the back of them have multiple HDMI outs. You plug in an HDMI, plug it into your TV. Your computer is now your streaming service. You don't have to have a smart TV for that. Oh, but it's so much easier if I use a smart device. Really? How many people have actually found that smart TVs are easier to use than just using your computer? I mean, just loading up YouTube and having to use the remote to navigate, where with the computer I can just go over and click. Like, smart TVs are the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I won't buy a smart TV. You know, I mean, I wish I could put my head, you know, back into ignorance. I wish I could just walk away from it all and just forget that I knew any of this and go back to just enjoying my life. I mean, I don't want to be this guy that sit here and talk all the time about how things annoy me. Show me something that's not going to annoy me. Show me something that is worth the money you paid for it. You know, I mean, show me an app that's worth the hassle that you get on the other side of it. You know, that's what I hate, is that it gets so frustrating because I want to enjoy my life. I want to just turn on YouTube, watch some videos, you know, listen to some videos while I'm playing a video game. or listen to music while I'm playing a video game, or writing, or working on things for whatever I'm doing. But I can't stop myself from hearing, about the political climate, because that goes into my video games. Hogwarts Legacy screwed up video games for years. Years. Because they tried to politicize a video game. I'm not advocating one side or the other thing. I don't care about J.K. Rowling and what she said, but I also don't care about the other side, about what they're saying. I don't care about the whole problem. It's a damn video game. Let people enjoy themselves. Not everything has to be a platform to speak your mind, says the guy that's using a platform to speak his mind. I am aware of the irony. But this is what you come here for on Wednesday nights, is me to do these talks. And if you guys don't like what I'm talking about, give me something else to talk about. I'm just going off the cuff. I don't have anything special to talk about tonight. I am just trying to entertain and trying to educate at the same time. I'm trying to teach you guys to think critically about what you do. Or remind you, more so. Because I think most of you are critical thinkers. So I think this is more about reminding you about what you actually let other things choose for you. And that's a problem. It's a problem how much we let the world choose for us. We open up some streaming app, some social media app, and we just take what's being fed to us. And everything, you must remember, is designed to keep you on that particular platform. There's no friendly competition at our level. At the higher level, your damn Skippy, Dan Clancy, and the head of YouTube, I can't remember his name at the moment, don't sit there and talk behind the scenes about how to make each platform unique. So they have different feels so that they can capture their audience. It's not about letting creators cooperate. It's not about letting both win at the bottom rank, but at the top rank, they definitely have to. Twitch only exists because it's basically an add-on for Amazon. Really, this doesn't take, when compared to the juggernaut that is Amazon, it doesn't take that much out of Amazon's stockpile to run Twitch. In fact, it's probably a loss leader. It probably lets them save on taxes. Which YouTube hasn't been profitable, from what I understand, ever. Supposedly, and I call bullshit. But also, people will sit there. See, this is something that really gets to me, is the people that sit there and complain about the ads on YouTube, but won't pay for premium, but will pay for DoorDash. Now, the reason why I specifically point that out is that one DoorDash meal of $20 or higher pays for 1 month of YouTube Premium. One DoorDash meal, not counting the meal, counting the price it costs you to just DoorDash it. If the meal is $20, you have $15, give or take, of fees. So you would rather get that burger or burrito bowl or whatever you're getting. But you're gonna sit over here and complain about how YouTube is expensive. Like, I get that people get home from work and they're tired and they don't want to cook. Little pre-planning could have saved you a lot. If you were on your way home from work, why didn't you grab it on your way home? Like people used to do in I don't know how many years. You know, I mean, that was just what you did. I don't know how many times I got off work, called the wife, hey, anything ready for dinner tonight? No, I just got home myself from work and just got done picking up the kids. You want me to pick up a pizza on the way home? Yeah, sure. Or McDonald's. You know, whatever you get. You just grab it on the way home. Like, you can't tell me that I'm too tired when I get home from work, but you can use your phone. Like, you know you're gonna be hungry. Grab it on the way home. It's not that hard. It might take you, what, 10 minutes out of your way? I mean, in the same scenario, if I'm picking up a pizza, I call the pizza joint, order the pizza or pizzas that I wanted, which I generally knew exactly what to get, so it was real easy. I drive over to the pizza joint, pick it up, because it's already done by the time I get there, and finish my drive home. And I'm not even having to pay a delivery fee. You know, and I was it a hassle? Yeah, kind of. But I was already on my way home anyway. You know, and that's what I think a lot of people don't understand, is that you let convenience speak for you. Convenience actually makes you more tired. Like, going through a drive-thru is just as easy as ordering it on the phone. I'm not gonna lie to you. You go to the drive-thru, you order your food, you pay, you go to the other window to pick it up. It's that simple, that easy. Then you finish your drive on the way home. You know, and sure, it may not be exactly what you wanted, because, you know, what's on your way home isn't necessarily what you wanted, but obviously you didn't want it enough to go out of your way to get it. So you just grabbed what was easy on the way home. Or, you know, just cook for yourself at home. Pre-prep meals. I mean, especially with today's economy, you can't keep going out the way it's going. Number two, I mean, remember that Tyson's Chicken is laying off factories. See, this is something that makes no sense economically. They're laying off people in a processing plant. They're shutting down the whole processing plant because of the price of beef. Now, most people know Tyson is chicken, but they do process beef. But here's my problem with that. The price of beef is going up. Ooh, spaghetti and meatballs. Oh, that sounds good. But if the price of beef is going up, wouldn't that mean that even if you're selling less beef, you're making more off of it? Sure, lay off a few people, but shutting down a whole plant? That doesn't make any sense to me. And it makes me wonder if the agreement for them to allow to be using vat-grown beef, vat-grown chicken, is why they're doing it. It has nothing to do with the price. Because if they tell people that, oh, it's because we're using vat-grown beef, or vat-grown chicken that we're going to be laying off these plants. You're laying off people because you're able to clone beef, clone chicken. Wasn't there something about bananas and how we had basically cloned the banana trees and one illness went through and ravaged the whole thing and killed all the plants? We don't even have that type of banana anymore. It's why banana flavoring doesn't taste like bananas. Think about that for a second. We're setting up for the same problem we had years ago. We know what's going to happen here. Oh, but we got it figured out this time. No, you don't. One germ, one bacterium that is resistant to whatever you're doing in there is going to eviscerate your plant. And you have no backup. So you're literally, bananas weren't necessary for survival. Beef and chicken, especially today, is generally considered very necessary for people. So they're gonna starve because the plants went down, which, it might wipe out the whole culture. And by culture, I mean the culture that they start with to make this beef and chicken. You might literally destroy one whole source of protein for people. And, people talk about, oh, well, they'll just have us go back, go to, what is it, mealworms? They're an excellent source of protein. Except for, did you guys forget that insect biomes are dying out by the thousands, by the billions of tons a year? We're losing insects at a very distressing rate. It's not just bees. And we don't know really what's doing it. Glyphosate, also known as Roundup. That's what's doing it, because it's a pesticide that persists in the water. You're literally killing the animals that your farmland depends on. So you have meat culture over here that you're designing over here. You're killing all the bugs that support your plant life. Where are we going to get our food? Like, you want to engineer an apocalypse? That's how you engineer an apocalypse. What I'm glad about is that there's a whole bunch of people resisting it. And even worse is 5 years ago, what I just talked about would be considered conspiracy. That, Tyson wouldn't resort to lab-grown, meats for providing for fast food joints with, which they have the major contract through Cisco. But I'm not even, this isn't even a conspiracy. This is literally public information that Tyson Chicken works with Cisco, and they've got approved to use lab-grown meats. And me personally, I think the biggest mistake, vegetarian, vegan, was the Beyond Meat, the Impossible Meat, the meat that's not meat, but it wants to be meat, but we all know it doesn't taste like meat. I miss the old Garden Burger. Did that taste like beef? Hell no, but it tasted good. It had its own unique flavor. Did I eat it all the time? No. But it had a good flavor. There was also these vegetarian, vegan, I think it was made with black beans. And it was good. Like I told the wife, is it beef? No. But it's good. My wife's a carnivore. She doesn't like to mess with alternative meats very often, or non-meats. Right, it's not bad, but you know it's not a burger. Now, are you talking one of those vegan burgers that looks like meat, tastes like meat? Or are you talking about one of those early, you know, it's obviously vegetable? Okay. Yeah, see those? I don't like them because I can tell just by texture alone, that's not beef. Or if it is beef, it is the bargain basement hamburger patty that I used to get at school. Yes, it's beef. Well, it's meat, but it's mystery meat. I don't know what it's made of. But yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that this stuff is bad, but why are you trying to make it taste like beef or chicken? Like, why? Ah, okay. Hey, Simply, how's it going? You out eating, nice. Nice to get out of the house and not actually have to be work to get you out of the house. Work being the reason. Okay. Thank you. Give me a second. Yeah, I updated the chat so now it has the speech bubbles. Oh. But I'm here, Chica. They can't hear me, so I might as well wave. I mean, how insulting that they go out where a band is and they don't think to bring headphones so they can hear me. I mean, come on. And where do you find a place that has a band on a Wednesday night? That's cool. Where I used to live, it was always like Thursday or Friday. Right? I love your little alien cat. It actually gives me the option I can turn that off, but it's you in real life. Well, you're cuter than I thought. Don't hurt me. Oh. But I mean, I do too. I like the new thing. And, you know, the speech bubble thing. Oh, that works so much better. Is it on the right size? Like, can you guys read it okay? Or do I need to adjust its sizing? Because at first I had it way too big. The font size. And I got rid of it being there permanently. You need glasses, so I don't ask you. Okay. Well, and I know on a phone, that's got to be so hard to see. And I don't know how to make, especially for a phone, make that better. Like, I'd have to move the camera. Oh, you can't log in on your computer? It just won't let you? Or you have an issue? Or, whatever. Forgot the password. See, that's why you set up two-factor authentication. So even if you forget your password, you can use a different option and use your phone to log you in. And that's also why yeah, you should be able to just, I mean, it sends the chat, you know, or the message to your phone when you go to log in. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, you know, and it's like, I'm all for people going out to some place and getting whatever food they want, even if that is an Impossible Burger. You know, people should have the freedom to buy what they want to buy. I don't have a problem with that. Sorry, had to be a butthead. Oh. He's not looking right now, so it's okay. No, what we don't know is he's really the one typing. It's a part of a long con. Later, it's going to be about gaslighting me. Somehow. Not sure how, but... as you should be. But... you know, I mean, like Infinite and Simply going out. I want to bring that to be more common. So that restaurants can actually lower their prices because people are going out more often. But they have to give people a reason to go. We spend so much time putting them on a conveyor belt from the ordering to getting their food to out the door. Sorry, in the door and out the door as fast as possible, that we've literally made the interiors hostile. You know, using solid surface flooring, it's too loud. Using, like there's no private, quiet places to sit and eat anymore. Oh, solid surface flooring is more durable. But it's also more expensive to replace if something does happen to it. But even so, you know, carpet tiles at Home Depot are dirt cheap. You just stick them down and they will dampen 99, well, maybe not 90, even a 20% reduction in sound is going to be enough. Like, it's really going to be enough to keep people sitting down and being quiet. You know, bring back the old school booths where you sat down and you had a little cushion rather than, you know, a thin blanket over wood or just thunk. You know, we don't make these places comfortable anymore. I mean, look at what movie theaters did. Movie theaters were smart, or at least the ones I've been to. With the lounge chairs, you gotta sit, you get comfy, you get a much bigger seat than you used to. You know, I mean, they're awesome. And more people go to the theaters now than they were a long time ago. I gotta say that. I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine, like, if you guys grew up with the movie theater seats that I grew up with. Like, one of the places I lived at were like school auditorium wooden seating to watch a movie in. I don't know if you even had a school auditorium that had the flip down theater seating. There was just the thin wood on metal brackets that you sat on. You know, it was actually when I was about 10-ish when the place remodeled and we finally got the velvet red theater seating that was so common. And it was just like, oh, this is nice. You know, and then we had the bigger chairs and stuff like that and the more stadium style seating. which is where I got in the habit of sitting in all the way in the back, is because the angle was a lot flatter in those places. So if I sat in front of somebody behind me couldn't see me. And that was from the time I was like 15 on. So I just always would get in the back row in the middle. That way people didn't normally have to pass by me because my knees were always in the seats in front. So if somebody had to like walk by me, it was a bit of a hassle trying to get around my knees, or if somebody was sitting behind me, they couldn't see. So I just sit all the way in the back, and I just figured that was best for everyone. But then with the stadium seating where they made that slant a lot more, I didn't have to worry about it as much, but I still have the habit. And now I love the fact that I can just sit on the aisle side so I can stretch my legs out. Even though now I really don't have to do that because the room between the rows is so much more. But I think people like forget how it used to be. But it was an event to go out to a movie. You only got like 20. The movie Buddy. That seems familiar. I think I have. Never mind. I have not, and I need to. In theaters this Friday? How have I not heard about this? Okay. I might have to take a look and see if I can go see it. I don't know if I have the money right now, but I'll find out. Damn, already out. But that's okay. I still have water. But I will be right back. And we're back. And I brought the fluffer one. Yes. No. She's like, I don't want to be here. You okay? No? No? Okay. I'm only gonna do it every once in a while. But I try. She is. She is a beautiful cat. Pretty and fluffy. I think she's more upset with herself because she doesn't actually mind it too much. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you know, back to one of my earlier points of is that you always have time. You have time to end up doing whatever the hell you want. You know, you will always end up one way or another being pushed one direction or the other. You know, we're made to decide so young what we should do with our lives that nobody ever stops to think that you can't plan that so far in advance. You know, and I think everybody should feel free. Sup, Greenie? I think people should feel free to change whenever they want. Like, I mean, obviously plan it out and, you know, don't just jump. Mainly because that just ends up being really bad for everybody involved. Greenie! GG. He forgot the exclamation point. He now it just seems like kind of flat, like GG. But I mean, the reality is that oh, there you go, Green Jeans. That's much better. Be excited. Too late. Oh. You know, we get so stuck in the momentum of what we do. We get so afraid. God, I wish that my camera would zoom in, like actually track me. But, you know, I mean, my dad was stuck in the momentum of his job for his whole life. And basically, as soon as he was forced to retire from his job, because he couldn't pass the CDL physical anymore, because, well, he was old. He just let himself go. He's really lost the will to want to keep going. You know, and that's something that damn. I don't know, GG. XO, I wouldn't fall for that. That sounds like guilt. That's highly passive aggressive. Notice that he told you what would happen. I'm just stirring the pot. Don't mind me. Oh. I know the feeling. Like, I'm doing okay, but it's been a long day. Even before, you know, streaming at 5, you know, took an hour off and now I'm doing it again. I'm probably only going to go till 11, so it's only going to be a 2-hour stream. But I mean, technically I will have, you know, streamed 5 hours in the last 6. Which is another reason why I couldn't make this a job. Nice. Good. Yeah, Jade was in here earlier and told me basically the same, that it went well. But I don't know. It's one of those things that we get stuck in the momentum. Like, more power to you. Do what you want to do. Be happy with who you are and what you're doing. That you should always have that freedom. But don't forget that if it becomes too much work, if it becomes a hassle, like sometimes you have to push through. Don't get me wrong. Like sometimes, you know, I liken it to getting in the shower. You know, it's like sometimes I don't feel like starting the stream. But once I start it, I don't want to stop. Again, it's you know, like I said, it's like getting in the shower. You know, I don't know how many people are like, oh my God, I don't want to get in the shower. It's just, oh. And then you get in the shower, because normally most people are taking a shower right after they wake up or right before they go to bed. You know, they don't want to make the effort. But as soon as they're in the shower, then it's like, oh, this feels so nice. I don't want to leave it. You know, and sometimes work is like that. It's like, I don't want to get up, go to work and go do that. But then once you're there, you're cruising, you're having fun and you're just enjoying yourself. You know, and then all of a sudden, like, work's over, time to go home. And you're like, wait, what? Already? You know, and I know a lot of people, that's really hard anymore. And that makes me wonder, are you in the job that's right for you? If you hate your job and it's just like a drag, maybe it's time to find something else. And I know in this economy that can be hard. You know, don't just quit your job. Obviously, go find something else before you quit. You know, but don't worry about finding something more or better for you. You know, I mean, one, don't be loyal to a company. Flat out. Like, if I can teach you guys anything, would your job give you 2 weeks notice before they fired you? No. So why should you give them 2 weeks notice before you fire them? Oh, well, it's got to look good on my application. It's like, trust me. Trust me. With my old job history and I kept getting hired, know your worth. That's more important in any... I always walk into a job interview, like another good piece of advice when you're walking into a job interview is know that they need you. You don't need them. There's another company hiring down the road. They need you. Because you know that you're the best candidate for the job. You just have to convince them of it. It's not about lying to them, though. It's about listing off your skills, set in stone. You know, and 9 times out of 10, when they ask me what's my best skill, you know, what's my strength, I'm a quick learner. Like, hands down, I'm a quick learner. Like, I adapt pretty quickly, as long as there's a reason for me to adapt to it. And I don't know, it's hard to explain that sorry. It's hard to explain, you know, just walking in with confidence, because a lot of people, well, they have a hard time with that. They have a hard time walking in with confidence. And it's, for me, it's just, it's easy. I know they need me. You know, I know I'll be an asset to their team. And what am I doing? Who cares? I'll figure out where I fit. But I also have a terrible track record with work because I cannot suffer fools, especially fools that are in charge of me, who sit there and tell me how to do my job, but they don't know how to do my job. All they know is what the manual tells them my job should be, not the reality of my job. And not 9 times, about 6 times out of 10, what got me fired is when a boss would sit there and ask me if I know how to do my job. And I would sit there and ask them, have you ever done my job? Like, have you ever actually done my job? And most of them will say no, and I say, well, then quit reading the manual and watch what I do. And tell me where I'm failing. Because that's what always pissed me off. It was never that I was failing at my job, that I was bad at my job. I was never fired for being bad at my job. Ever. Even when I was fired for having my hands in my pockets. When I asked my supervisor, was the work ever left undone? Well, no. Like, okay, then what was the problem? You know, but that's the problem is that most of these people can't get over their own hubris. They can't stand somebody making the work look easy. You know, they can't stand the idea of, oh, you have to look like you're working even if your work's getting done, and you don't look like you're working, it's your fault. You're not doing enough. But the work's getting done. You hired me to do a specific job. If I've already got it done, what am I supposed to do? It will look like you're working. Okay, I can do that. But I'd rather have something good to do because I want them to get their money's worth. And that's one of the things that I think that a lot of these companies that fired me didn't understand. I would, if they gave me another job, I mean, they were paying me for 8 hours a day. Give me more work. But see, they couldn't think of anything more to give me. They wouldn't train me on something else. You know, there was plenty in a lot of those jobs that I could have been trained on to move over into. I had one job where they basically just told me as soon as my work was done, go hide. I worked for a coating, for a siding company, and we all we did was we sprayed, paint on the siding. And it was this, well, I shouldn't call it spray paint. There was a plastic coat type thing. And my whole job was to sort the boards, the sizes properly out in this outdoor shed, rain or shine, because we had it was covered. Drive a forklift, stack it on the proper places, and that was it. I'd be done before lunch every time. And then when I'd go to the boss and go, hey, you got anything more for me to do? You can't possibly be done. It normally takes, 3 or 4 people all day to do that. It's like, well, I just wanted to get the work done. What else you got me to do? And oddly enough, I wasn't fired from that. They trained me on how to use the forklift more for other jobs. So now when they'd call me, I'd have to bring in the boards to the floor. And that was what I did the rest of the day, was wait until the radio chirped and they needed more boards. And what size. And just come in, drop them off, go back, sit and wait until my shift was over. Because 9 times out of 10, I would hardly ever have to make a second trip. And it's just about being efficient at what you do, learning the job, thinking it through, knowing that the guy that wrote the manual on what you're supposed to do, and 9 times out of 10, the guy that's training you on what you're supposed to do, never really sat down and thought about how the best way to do it is. The guy that wrote the manual probably never even worked the job. Probably walked the steps, but didn't really work the job. Also, so much is lost in translation when you're writing instructions out for something. There's things that, like when you read an instruction booklet and you see you know, some of the instructions, you're like, geez, what kind of idiot would need that instruction? It's like, you'd be surprised. But you'd also be surprised at what was skipped that you automatically did. Like, you just didn't even think about it. And, you know, again, you know, it's just about learning your job and paying attention. Figuring out where the gaps are. You know, I often wonder why people don't, you know, do class action lawsuits against these end user license agreements. You know, and, oh, on what grounds? Well, simple fact is that, you know, you writing it in the way you are guarantees that the person isn't going to read it. You don't put it into plain speak. You're literally writing it in such a wordy way that you know that the human brain isn't going to sit there and read it. Even if the person has the time, they're not going to retain it because of the way you wrote it. Like, you literally engineered this to be completely forgettable so that you can exploit every layer of this. Like, how is no contract lawyer gone and go, these things cannot be admissible in court? They write something that they know is intended not to be used by the consumer, that it is only meant to be used by the lawyers involved. How, like just give me straight up options. Why do companies have to trick you? Like, they don't even stop. Like, this isn't even intentional. They don't even stop to think why they should trick you in using things. Like Twitch and the training AI, and you know how everybody was automatically, you know, opted in. You know, it's like, oh, your streams will train AI. At least Twitch tells you. YouTube probably is already doing it and not even telling you. You know, I mean, I don't even have an opt-out option on YouTube. At least Twitch gives you an opt-out, no matter how flimsy that may be. You know, but again, it's their platform. They can do whatever they want. You know, it's their platform. I mean, I'm not saying that they're bad people for training AI on the videos. Yes, I opted out, of course, because they're not paying me for it. If I'm going to train something, I damn well better be getting paid for it. If you offered me, you know, 5 cents an hour that I stream, or 20 cents or 25 cents an hour that I stream, or even a couple of bucks. I mean, I don't know how much money this would actually be. I mean, I know AI trainers are huge expense. You know, but hell, 10 grand a year? Sure, 10 grand a year, not even minimum wage. You offer Twitch, here's a job. You offer me 10 grand a year to flick that switch back over to train AI off of my videos. That's my price, 10 grand a year. You know, because I average, let's see, 3, 6, 3, so 15 hours? Yeah, 15 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. What's 15 times 52? My brain ain't doing that math. I have a calculator. Somewhere, where's my calculator? There's my calculator. $780 hours. So I mean, actually, that's not a bad wage. At 780 hours, yes, calculator for the win. That's $12.82 an hour. Hell, Twitch, I'll just say, you know, $12 an hour. I'll flick that switch. Because I know AI trainers, $100,000 job easy. And I think it's like several years worth of job. So you want me to flick that switch? $12 an hour. I'm saving you money. You know, I mean, and that's the thing is that's why companies have to trick you. Look at how much money they're saving. You know, you can't even pay somebody, you know, minimum wage to do that. Because they damn sure wouldn't be doing it for $15 an hour. Or for 15 hours a week. That'd be a 40-hour a week job. Hell, if I started getting paid, you know, $10, $12 an hour to do it, to stream on Twitch, hell yeah, I'd be doing it. I'm doing it a lot more. You know, I mean, I'd probably wake up, come on stream, play video games and yap while I do it. 8 hours a day, clock in, clock out. You know, 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Well, probably 7 because I take an hour break for lunch. You know, boom, every day. You know, just treat it like a job. Boom, 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 boom. And with taking out the strain of me having to worry about how much money I'm spending on the job, I mean, within a few weeks, I could upgrade my whole setup easily. You know, and I remember that there was a streaming service that was like somebody was saying that they would do it. I can't remember if it was Kick or Rumble, but you know, it tells you how hard up they were. But see, I mean, how many people sit here, come on here for free and do it? You know, and you can't tell me Twitch isn't actually making money off of this. You know, it'd be better if they actually offered to pay people. Because, I mean, you paid me that, I'd be paying for, you know, subs for Ghost, Raven, Simply, you know, other people that, you know, that I would be helping out the community. You know, that'd be the funny thing is that a large portion of that money would be staying with Twitch. Because people would just be paying it. You know, they'd be helping out others. I mean, how many huge streamers just give away, you know, however many, you know, memberships, subscriptions all the time? You know, they're not really thinking of the cascade effect. Like, sure, you're giving money away. You know, and obviously, you know, there has to be a certain quality. You know, I mean, that's just a fact. You know, you have to speak a certain number of words a minute, you know, because you're training AI. You know, you would have to sit there and give it something to train on. You know, that would be the important part. You know, you can't just sit there and play your video game. Sup, chat? How you doing? You know, there still has to be a love for the job. You know, and I would have, you know, a Twitch moderator staff, you know, cycle through a certain number of people that they'd have to monitor. Sure, this sounds like a huge problem, but if you're trying to train an AI, if you're trying to train people, I mean, frankly, here's a little secret. You know why I'm okay with training AI? Because the more information you give it, the worse it's going to be. Because, you know, they want to train it on everything. But the problem is that the more information without specializing that AI, you're going to break it. Because now every option is viable. You're just breaking it. So the more information, it's like giving a human more information, more information, more information. At some point, their brain can't contain it anymore. It's broke. Oh. But anyway, you know, like I said, you know, I didn't really have a whole lot that I was thinking about talking about tonight. Anything on your guys' minds? Anything you guys are thinking of? Anything special thoughts or anything? I know we're kind of hitting the wall for a lot of you about getting tired. Or maybe you guys have already passed out. Hell, how many people are still watching? I could just be sitting here talking to myself. Oh well. You know, and I think that's kind of the hard part about doing streaming, is how much it feels like you're just talking to yourself. Like, yeah, there's a chat going along the side, but you're just talking to yourself. You're not really, you're trying to engage, but it's always with this layer. It's one of the things that I find with most, like even when I'm on video calls with friends or, voice chats with friends, it's not the same as being there. And it makes it really hard to keep the thought process going. It makes it really hard because normally, because I'm a talker. What's up, Ninetails? And I like engaging, having somebody else to engage with when I talk. Like, I talk best when I have people to bounce off of, to gab with and to yap with and to keep the ball rolling. And it becomes very difficult to sit here in my room and talk by myself and read responses and, try to chime in, try to be personable, try as I might to keep it going. But I don't know, it's just, as much as I like to talk, I like interaction. I like to have a back and forth. I like to have a conversation, but in streaming, you're the entertainer. And sure, back when I was younger days, this would have been so much easier. But I had trained myself to give other people a chance to talk and not just go off. And now it's sometimes hard without having, giving that person a chance to talk. I was gonna say, this isn't mine. What are you doing? What the hell? I mean, I like it, but no. Why do I always have to do that? Like, I have this on my specific playlist so that I don't run into copyrighted work. Thank you very much, YouTube Music, you bastard. See, that's one of the things I freaking hate. Huh. Hello, Kitty. That's interesting. It's kind of interesting to know. Yes, exactly. I said hi. So, I wonder what they're going to turn it into. I mean, Kroger doesn't give up anything without, making something out of it. Money off of it, anyway. I mean, that's just the way it goes. But I don't know, you know, it's just one of those things that it's difficult to sit here sometimes. Like if I just don't have, and that's kind of why I cut back on my hours, is just because I don't have as much time to think up things, to work on things. You know, yeah, I only have 3 hours to fill on average a night. Yeah, that always sucks. You know, and that's one of the things that I absolutely hate about modern times, is that every company has to get so big that they end up having to concentrate in certain areas so they can maximize profits. But it also creates monopolies and food deserts, where people have to go so much further to get their food, which now means they can't buy as much food because it's costing them more to get there and get back. So ultimately, while the store is more profitable than the 3 other stores, they're overall losing money because they're not as profitable as the aggregate profit from the 3 stores. Like it's something that only looks good on paper. You know, they always forget that it's like, oh, we have fewer workers, so it's more money. You're right, it's fewer workers, but those workers aren't coming back. You know, the more increased workers aren't coming back and spending their paychecks. Right, I mean, don't even get me started on Family Dollar, Dollar General, Dollar Tree, dollar stores. They're scams. They're garbage stores, and you're only buying garbage. I mean, at least Walmart, most of the time what they sell you is edible. May not always be the best quality, may not always be the best for you, but at least it's edible. At least it has to meet a standard. I guarantee you that, right, but Pick Pack, which I don't even know what Pick Pack is. Never even heard of it before. It's just so difficult to. But okay, Dollar General, but local. Okay. Well, give it time. I'm sure Dollar General will take over. Well, no, it's probably too close to city centers or city limits for Dollar General. Yeah, I'd never seen a Dollar General back where I lived in. Wow, when you can't, support a Dollar General, something's wrong with your community. Where are your cops? Why aren't the cops doing their job? Like, I know, people like, oh, defund the police, defund the police. Yeah, sure. No, retrain the police in actually doing their job. Enforce the laws that are on the books. Do your freaking job. Which, I mean, to be perfectly honest, in my interactions with police have always been pretty damn good. I may have to quit here soon. My throat is hammered. I'm trying to drink enough water, but yeah. But that's their job. Maybe don't pull your gun first. Maybe actually be a presence in the community so that you can actually form relationships with the community so that, well, okay, let's be honest. The big thing is that, you want to stop crime, increase education. Okay. Well, I've been a West Coaster for most of my life, so I mean, I've been in predominantly black neighborhoods, but they've been apparently a very different stripe than what's back over here. You know, I mean, and that was even around LA. I mean, I've been to South Compton. Mostly they just told me, you're lost. You need to go over here because that's where you're supposed to be. It's like, oh, you're right. Thanks. And I moved on. Even in Portland, I've been in, predominantly Asian neighborhood where, they were wondering what the hell was wrong with me. So, I mean, I get that there's some kind of issue, but the biggest thing to help any community, I don't care who it is, education, education, education. Flat out. The more educated a person is, the less likely they are to do crime. You might get that upper 10%, that filter money towards themselves. But as a general rule, you have a lot less crime with the higher the educated the populace is. And I don't mean just like the higher they got in school, but the better educated they are. One of the biggest, scariest eye-openers for me was watching this old newsreel about junior high level students in the 60s. They were about as eloquent, if not more, in public speaking to this newscaster, which means they were most likely nervous, but they were getting their idea across as good as our modern day newscasters. Like they had the speech capability, get their point across as good as modern day news journalists with teleprompters. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it on that. Is just look at the relative education level and look at how bad it's gotten compared to where we were in the 60s, which, I mean, keep in mind, in the 70s, there was a huge crime wave. And it was mostly due to the fall off of education. Well, No Child Left Behind, yeah. In military recruiting. If you look at the numbers, it was specifically about military recruiting. It wasn't about actually educating the populace. I mean, what dumbass says, oh, hey, your kids are failing their scores, so we're going to remove your funding. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, you don't do that. One, hands down, grades are tied to money in the school system. The more money you have circulating in a school system, the better grades you get. So if a school is failing, you should probably put more funding in it. Take it away from the schools that are passing. And you keep that ride balanced. The only problem is that we regionalize how the funds are distributed, which is ridiculous. The Board of Education should go all the way up to the Secretary of Education, and all of those funds should be federally accrued for school systems and then distributed evenly on every school. You really want to know the price of education? There you go. And we might have to realize that there's a lot more money we need to spend in education, but I also have a feeling that it would be a lot different. than people would think. I think end up being a lot cheaper. But yeah, I'm gonna have to call it. I have this nasty like tickle in the back of my throat that I am trying very hard not to cough every time I start talking. I think I've worn out my voice today. I apologize. I hope you had a wonderful night. I know you just got here, Nine Tails, and I feel really bad. But unless you want me to pause it every, if I laugh right now, it's going to cause a coughing fit. Just know that that was funny. No. I know, no, that was what. Anyway, have a good night. Thank you for joining me. Hope you have a wonderful night. Don't forget, tomorrow morning, Ghost is streaming, I think, with Raven. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, y'all have a good night. Love y'all. Peaceful dreams.